Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. Today we're going to be looking at a real fascinating coin. Um, are you ready to dig into the 1929 Indian half-eagle?
Oh, absolutely. This coin really encapsulates a pivotal moment in American history and, kind of a story of survival.
Oh, wow, survival.
Yeah, think about it. It's 1929. The Great Depression has just hit. The world is really in turmoil. But the U.S. Mint, they're still striking these beautiful half-eagle coins, full of detail.
Okay.
But many of them actually met a pretty unfortunate end.
Oh no, what happened?
They were melted down.
Melted?
Yeah.
Hey.
Well, you see, the 1929 half-eagle was 90% gold.
Oh.
And when the economy really, went south, people needed something tangible, something with real value, that they could hold on to. Yeah. So melting these coins down basically gave them that immediate access to gold.
So the coins we're talking about today actually survived a meltdown.
Exactly.
Wow, that's incredible. So I'm guessing that's one of the reasons why it's so rare today.
Absolutely. You hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
That combined with the fact that it was minted right at the, kind of beginning of this major historical turning point makes this coin a real collector's item. It's not just a piece of gold, It's like a piece of history that tells a story of resilience.
Okay, so speaking of stories, I've always heard that the design of the 1929 half-eagle is really striking. Can you tell me more about it?
Oh, yeah. It's really a masterpiece of early 20th century American coinage. It's actually the combined work of two renowned artists, Augustus Saint-Gaudens, who did the original concept, and then Bela and Pratt adapted it for this specific coin. So picture this, a Native American portrait, bold and proud, symbolizing the spirit of the nation. And then on the other side, you've got this majestic eagle in flight representing strength and freedom.
Okay.
It's like holding a tiny, little piece of art in your hand.
I've often heard the term bas relief used to describe this coin's design. What exactly does that mean?
Ah, yes. Bas relief. So it's a technique where the design elements, they really stand out dramatically from the coin's flat surface. You get this incredible sense of depth and texture, almost as if you're looking at a miniature sculpture. Imagine like a carving on a wall where the fingers protrude outward, they're kind of bursting forth. That's bas relief.
So it's like a 3D coin almost.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, it's amazing how much thought and artistry went into creating a single coin. It really wasn't just about, monetary value, was it?
Not at all. It was really a statement, almost a reflection of national pride and identity. This coin, even down to that bas relief style, really showcases that early 20th century spirit.
It really makes you wonder, did the people who designed and created these coins, did they have any idea that their work would become so sought after, so intertwined with this, pivotal moment in history?
That's a great question. And, I'm sure they took a lot of pride in their craftsmanship. But it's really hard to say if they could have foreseen the impact of their work. It speaks to the enduring power of art, how it transcends its original context and takes on, new meanings over time.
Yeah, I'm curious about the Native American portrait on the coin. Was there any debate or controversy surrounding the use of that imagery during that time?
There were certainly different perspectives on how Native Americans were being represented in American culture during that era. While some might have viewed it as a tribute to the nation's, indigenous roots, others may have seen it through a more critical lens, considering the really complex history between Native Americans and the U.S. government.
It's amazing how a single coin can really spark such thought-provoking conversation about history, art, and even cultural perceptions.
Exactly. And this is just the beginning of the 1929 Indian half-eagle story.
Oh, there's more?
Oh, yeah. We haven't even touched upon its value in the collector's market.
Ooh, okay. Well, what is the most fascinating detail you've come across while studying this coin?
Honestly, it's the stories of individual coins that I find most captivating.
Oh, really?
Yeah. For example, imagine discovering a 1929 half-eagle that had been tucked away in a family's safe deposit box for generations.
Wow.
The stories it could tell, the hands it's passed through. It's like a direct link to the past.
Okay, now I'm really hooked. Let's get into those market values. I hear this coin could be worth a small fortune.
You're not wrong about that. Recent auctions have seen 1929 half-eagles, especially those in excellent condition, fetch upwards of $250,000.
Wait, $250,000 for a single coin? What factors determine that kind of price tag?
Well, condition's a big one, of course. A coin with, minimal wear and tear will command a higher price. Then there's provenance. So the coin's history of ownership, a 1929 half-eagle that's connected to a famous person or event, could be worth significantly more. And then, of course, there's the rarity factor we talked about earlier.
So are we saying that this 1929 Indian half-eagle could actually break records?
It's definitely possible, especially if it ticks all the right boxes.
Mm?
Pristine condition, a compelling backstory, perhaps even unique minting error that makes it truly one of a kind.
I bet our listener is itching to know more.
Well, let's dive deeper into the world of numismatics and see what other treasures we can uncover.
So you mentioned that a coin's condition is really important. Can you break that down a little bit more for us? What should someone look for if they're trying to figure out, what condition a coin like this is in?
Oh, absolutely. Numismatists, those are the coin experts that use a grading system to really assess a coin's condition. It looks at things like wear and tear, scratches, dents, and even the luster of the metal. So a coin in mint state means it's basically flawless, like it just came out of the mint.
Wow.
And then on the other end of the spectrum, you've got coins that have been, heavily circulated, showing lots of signs of wear. And those are obviously going to be worth less.
That makes sense. So let's say someone, finds a 1929 Indian half-eagle in their attic. What's the first thing they should do? Should they try to clean it, or is that going to damage the coin?
That's a great question. And honestly, it's something that a lot of new collectors get wrong.
Oh, okay.
Resist the urge to clean it. Even if you're just using a soft cloth, you could create these tiny scratches that can really lower the coin's value.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the best thing to do is store it in a protective holder.
Okay.
And then reach out to a, reputable coin dealer or a numismatist to get a professional opinion.
It's funny to think that, something as simple as cleaning a coin could actually hurt its value.
Right.
It really shows how much nuance there is to this whole world of coin collecting.
It really does.
Yeah.
Numismatics is this fascinating blend of, history, art, and even science. So you got to understand the minting process, the metals they use, the historical context, and even the psychology of collecting.
You've mentioned the psychology of collecting a few times. What do you mean by that?
Well, think about what drives anyone to collect anything. Stamps, baseball cards, or rare coins.
Yeah.
It's often that, thrill of the hunt, the desire to own something that's unique and valuable.
Mm-hmm.
And then with rare coins, there's also this, added element of connection to the past that we've been talking about. People are drawn to the stories that these coins represent, the glimpse into, different eras.
It sounds like numismatics could be a pretty addictive hobby.
Oh, it can be.
Yeah.
And like anything, it's important to approach it with balance and responsibility. Don't get so caught up in the, money side of things that you lose the real joy of learning and discovering.
What advice would you give to someone who's just starting out, in the world of numismatics?
My advice,
Uh,
start small.
okay.
Focus on what really interests you. Don't feel like you have to buy the most expensive or rarest coins, right away.
Right.
Pick a theme or a historical period that you're curious about and go from there.
Okay.
Visit local coin shops, attend shows, talk to other collectors. That community aspect is one of the best parts of this hobby.
Okay, so speaking of connecting with others, let's bring it back to our listener. What's the one thing you want them to take away from today's deep dive?
I really want them to understand that even something as small as a coin can have so much historical and artistic value.
That's true.
It's a good reminder that history isn't just something you read in textbooks or see in a museum. It's all around us, woven into our daily lives.
Yeah. It really is amazing to think about how something, as common as pocket change could have such a cool history.
It really is. And the 1929 Indian half-eagle is such a great example of that. It's a link to such a pivotal moment in U.S. history, a showcase of amazing artistry, and could be a real treasure for collectors.
So if our listener wants to learn more about this coin or about coin collecting in general, where would you suggest they start?
Oh, there are so many resources out there.
Yep.
The American Numismatic Association is a great starting point. Their website has tons of information. They also have local chapters where you can meet other collectors.
Cool.
Yeah. And, don't forget about those local coin shops.
Yeah.
The owners are often, real passionate numismatists themselves.
Yeah.
And can give some great advice.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
What about online resources? Are there any online forums or communities where people can connect and talk about coins?
Oh, yeah, tons. Online forums and social media groups can be a great way to learn from experienced collectors, ask questions, and even buy or sell coins.
Okay, cool.
Just be sure to do your research and only deal with reputable sources.
Good advice.
Yeah.
It sounds like there's a whole world to discover out there, even beyond the 1929 Indian half-eagle.
Oh, there really is. And that's what makes numismatics so exciting.
Yeah.
It's a hobby that never stops evolving. There are always new discoveries and new stories coming out.
Yeah.
It's really a journey of exploration, and you never know what treasures you'll find.
Well, I think we've uncovered some real treasures today. This has been such a fascinating deep dive into the 1929 Indian half eagle. We've learned about the artistry, the history, and even like the psychology behind this really cool coin.
And hopefully we've sparked some curiosity in our listener.
Yeah, we always like to leave our listeners with something to think about.
Oh, yeah.
So here's a final thought. Imagine you're holding this coin, feeling its weight, tracing your fingers along its design.
Yeah.
If this coin could talk, what stories would it tell? What secrets would it whisper about the hopes and fears of a nation during the Great Depression?
Maybe it would tell stories of resilience, of everyday people showing incredible strength during really tough times. Or maybe it would share stories of the different hands it's been and the transactions. It was part of the lives it's touched.
We really encourage you to learn more about rare coins and the stories they hold. You might be surprised at what you discover not only about history, but about yourself, too.
Happy collecting, everyone.
And that's it for this deep dive. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.